Let's talk about that phase every contractor dreads, the final walkthrough. That's when all the little things come back to bite. Door that sticks, caulk that cracked, baseboards that's off by a hair, a backsplash nobody's happy with, a punch list 14 lines longer than it should be. Now your crew's back on site, fixing things they already touched, redoing what they thought was finished. That's labor you already paid for, being spent again. That's what the punch list ratio exposes. So what is the punch list ratio? It's calculated by taking the punch list hours divided by the total job hours. Let's say your job took 800 total labor hours from start to finish. At the end, you spend 64 hours on punch list items. So that's 64 divided by 800, or 0.08, 8%. That means 8% of your labor time was spent fixing things after the finish line. You might think that's not bad, but on a $100,000 job with a tight margin, 8% of labor is real money walking right off the job site. So let me give you a job site analogy. Punch list time is like callback in slow motion. You've already paid for the labor. The team's already moved on mentally, if not physically. But here you are again, resanding, repainting, adjusting, explaining. Every hour spent on a punch list is an hour you can't bill again. Worse, it drags your cash flow and your crew morale straight down. So what is a healthy punch list ratio? Industry averages vary, but here's the real world contractor read. If it's 0 to 3%, that is excellent. You finish clean and your clients know it. If it's 4 to 7%, that's pretty acceptable, but there's room to tighten up. If it's between 8 and 12%, that's the warning zone. You're redoing too much. But if it's over 12%, you're giving away labor and maybe credibility. Even a 5% punch list ratio on a big job can destroy your projected margin. So let me give you a real contractor example. I had a custom home builder with a great reputation, but final closeouts were dragging. We pulled the last 6 projects. Average job hours, 1,120. Average punch list hours, 124. That's an 11% ratio. Clients were happy eventually, but he was burning 1 to 2 weeks of labor on every project to get there. That's not closing strong. That's closing expensively. So we made some changes. Instituted a pre-punch list walkthrough. We created a client-ready checklist for his trade. We held his team accountable for repeat issues. We also built punch list targets into every project manager's performance scorecard. 3 months later, punch list ratio dropped to 4.2%. Closeout time was cut in half, actually, and final payments collected faster. So how do you reduce your punch list ratio? Well, number 1, build clean from the start. Sloppy early work always shows up in the final 10%. Number 2, create a punch prevention checklist by phase. Cabinets, check doors, paint, check edges, plumbing, check fixture wobble, things like that. Number 3, do your own pre-punch before the client ever sees it. Beat them to it. Number 4, assign closeout to someone who didn't do the work. Fresh eyes equals fewer missed details. And number 5, track punch list hours separately, knowing how much they're costing you, not just how long they take. So here's the final word. Punch list work feels like progress, but it's really a redo. It's labor you've already paid for. It's materials you've already installed. And if it keeps growing, it's margin that disappears after the job ends. So ask yourself, are we finishing clean, or are we just cleaning up our finish? Because in construction, if you're fixing work you already did, you're paying twice and profiting only once.